Well, now, go ahead and try these 6 money tricks for the next only 3 months. That's like 90 days only. Go ahead and try these tricks and tell me exactly what will happen. And I dare promise you, you'll have a tremendous change as far as the financial thing is concerned. Do you usually suffer from this problem? You're like, I don't even know where my money is going. I don't know what exactly I can be able to do. What exactly should I incorporate in my life so that at least I can be able to trace my money? But they have a problem with impulse buying. I don't know all those kind of stories. Go ahead and try to do this for the next 3 months. And I'm telling you, I'm not going to tell you what you're going to do after 1 year, but what you're going to inculcate inside of you as far as the character of the money is concerned for the next 90 days will tremendously shock you and have a change as far as your finances is concerned. Guess what? All the points are actually listed on this board. The only thing that I want you to do is to go ahead and like the video. Make sure that you subscribe. Why? Because I do upload a video each and every day, and it's all about money, it's all about finances, it's all about investments. That is a cup of coffee. If then it is your cup of coffee, go ahead and be a member of this channel, and make sure that as well you leave me a comment and a like on this video. Let's get into the business now. The point is, what are these 6 points or 6 tricks that you're supposed to incorporate and do something as far as your finances are concerned? Let's go to the point number 1. I want you to do this for the next 90 days, that is 3 months. I want you to justify everything that you're purchasing. Justify every purchase that you're making. You ask yourself, do I really need this specific thing? Why? What happens? Like, what if I don't buy it? What exactly should I, you justify everything that you're buying. And obviously, I'm not telling you to justify everything that you're buying on the basis of you buying it. For example, let's say you want this pen. You really don't need this pen. You want this pen. And then you're like, okay, fine. Joseph said that we should justify everything that you're purchasing. Then you'll be like, okay, fine. Let me just justify. I want this pen. I've been having a crave of that pen for a long time and all those kind of things. So you end up buying the pen. Okay. Find what we call the monetary value of that specific pen. The feasibility of that. Like, what importance does it have? What if I don't buy this pen and I buy an alternative of this pen? What will I lose? Or will I gain if I buy this pen? And what have you? So every time you justify every purchase that you make, that will facilitate you to inculcate a culture that I made a video about it some times back, and it's called a 10 seconds rule. For those who follow me for quite a long time, and that's why I'm telling you subscribe so you don't miss any trick here. See, there's something I talked about, 10 seconds rule. 10 seconds rule is when maybe say you're showing up to a mall or a supermarket or whichever the place it is, you're about to buy something. You go ahead and hold that thing and ask yourself, okay, fine, I'm about to buy this coffee making machine. So why am I buying this coffee making machine? I'm buying this coffee making machine because I love coffee to a point where I'm addicted to coffee. I love grabbing those coffees, but they're a bit expensive. But if I buy this coffee making machine, it will help me to save a lot of money out of me purchasing the coffees. And again, I can be able to get a coffee at any given moment and all those kind of things. So when you justify, when you have that 10 seconds rule, not just when you show up, you be like, I just want to buy this, you buy it, put it in a trolley, put it in a cart, put it in everything. Okay. See, can actually get yourself going or doing what we call the thrift shopping. Let's go to the next point. The next point is that consider the effect of the purchase to your goal. What does it mean? What are your goals? For example, each and every human being, they have a goal and they have the vision. And the difference between most of the people and some people is that when you have a goal, there's something called count the cost. You count the cost. I want to save an X amount of money for the next 5 months, 10 years, or 3 years, or 1 year. Now, that amount of money that I want to set at the end of this year, then it means I have to shake off some of the habits that I have. Say, for example, your goal says that you have to save 2 months, or rather 2,000 at the end of the month. Then the question is, if I purchase this item with 300, then it's going to affect my savings at the end of the month, which is 2,000. If I deduct 300, then I'll be able to save 1,700 rather than the committed 2,000. Then ask yourself, the purchase that I'm about to take, will it affect my goals in any way? And if it will affect your goal, then you ask yourself, sure, it might affect my goal, but in other words, that it can help me in one way or the other. All right. Maybe you can actually use some money that you said that you're going to save to acquire a skill that will help you to make more. So therefore, in the next 2 or 3, 4 months, you're going to have, chances of you making more than you're making right now. So of what effect does it have? The positive effect or the negative effect? So then if you realize it's actually affecting your goal in a negative way, you go ahead and put it aside and be like, guess what? It's an amazing thing to have. It is okay to have. But the point is, it is not a need as of now. I'm going to shelve that thing. Then I'm going to acquire that later because I have an eye on the bull or an eye on the target right now. So therefore, I'm not gonna actually pursue that route. Okay. So the point is, always consider whether it is affecting your goal that you're having at the end of the period of time that you have set aside out there. And the point number 3 kind of goes hand in hand with that. The point is, always consider or classify every and anything that you purchase, whether it's a need or a want. Just always be like a crazy person. Get yourself a pen and paper, draw a line. On this side, write your needs, and this side, write your wants. The needs are the things that you cannot shake them off. You really need them. For example, you need to take water, you need to take a shower, you need to have clothing, you need to pay school fees, you need to pay debt, you need to make sure that you pay the rent, you need to do the fueling, you need to pay the licensing, you need to pay the permits. Those are the needs, things that you cannot be able to be like, I mean, for example, can you just imagine meeting somebody and they're like, hey, guess what? For the next 1 month, I'm not gonna eat. Why? Because I'm saving. It does not make any sense. So those are the needs. You cannot shake them off. Okay. So classify the thing that I'm about to get. Let's say I want to buy maybe say an expensive clothing, maybe a hood or a jacket or a cloth or maybe a hat like this one, for example. You'll be like, okay, hats are okay. Hats are good. I need them. I mean, I look good. I look elegant and what have you. But the point is it a need or a want? By the way, can I get an alternative of this at a better price and be able to save 1, 2, 3? And by the way, this is another trick that I should let you know. By the way, this is like just a random trick. This is what I usually do. The moment I go to somewhere where I'm buying something and of which I can be able to bargain, this is what I do. See, for example, say this pen, I ask like a guy who is selling, how much is this pen? The pen is say 100 Kenyan shillings. So I'm like, okay. Can you do 50? Be like, nah, I can't do 50, 50 too low. Okay, fine. You know, just throwing a random price out there. Then I'm like, okay, fine. So how about 70? Be like, 70 actually a bit of a price, but anyway, would you do 90? And I'm like, no, I can't do 90, but I can do 80. So let maybe close the deal at 80. So this pen initially I was supposed to buy at 100, and now I've managed to buy this pen at 80. So therefore, there is a difference between 80 and 100. That is 20. So I take the 20, I put it somewhere. And can you monitor how much you're actually bargaining along the way in that period of 3 months? You tell me how much how much have you saved? Probably you'll be like, show up in a mall, obviously you can't bargain. But if you try to find an alternative places where you can buy the things and you can be able to bargain, just consider how much you can be able to save out of that. Hey, don't forget, we're on the point of make sure that you classify whether the thing that you want to buy is a need or it's a want. That way it will help you to be like, okay, guess what? I'm consuming too much money towards acquisition of the wants. Therefore, the wants are the ones. And by the way, you know, you'll be shocked if you actually go ahead and find out whether most of your money is actually consumed by the needs or the wants. Most of the people tend to be consumed their money by by needs, but you have some classes of people whereby you find, needs plus wants, they kind of share the same equivalent. Like you find it there on a 50-50 thing. And that shouldn't be the case. It should be at least 60-40% if it's at the worst case scenario. All right. I would love to put it at the rate of, even if it's possible, 8-20, 80-20. Okay. And if you go a little bit, let it be at around 70 and 30%. That is 70% the things that you need, and then the 30% of the things that you want. So when you have that kind of a classification, it ensures that at least your money is on the safe end, and actually you're using your money towards acquisition of the things that you really need them. And the things that you need them, obviously it means the things that actually are running your life. Okay. Let's go to the next point. There is something called, if it is possible, then avoid debt at all the costs. Unless maybe you're borrowing to invest. But if you're not borrowing to invest, avoid the debts at all costs. Why? These are the things that have actually gotten people into, we call them the unnecessary debt. These are things, for example, let's say, maybe let's say you earn 30,000 and you live in a lifestyle that is 35,000. So that difference between how much you earn and how much you consume always be filled by a debt, and that debt is a consumable. So you end up borrowing to buy a flower or maybe buying something, and you get yourself into a what we call an uncomfortable debt, or should I say unhealthy debt. So if it is possible, then avoid borrowing for the next 3 months. You know, there are some people who are actually addicted to actually borrowing. You find some people, I mean, you cannot shake off the effect of borrowing. In anything they think about, I have to borrow. If, for example, you show it to them and you tell them, hey, guess what? Oh, wow, based on how much you usually earn. You know, by the way, I actually saw some people usually do that. You know, you tell them, you know what? Based on the amount of money that you're earning, you can be able to buy this car. You know what? You earn 100K at the end of the month. Bingo. Do you have some like 250,000 in your saving? Damn. Bring that money, put it somewhere, and then be committing your 45,000 or 30,000 or 40 or whatever the amount of money. Then they're like, Naki, that makes sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and break my coffers and sort of give that 250K. Then I'm gonna be getting my 30,000 or 40,000 towards the repayment of that car, and they end up buying that car. They have not bought that car because they need the car. Most of the thing, or the reason, or the main reason why they have actually bought that car is on the basis of, I can qualify, I have the capacity, I have the ability. But you don't ask yourself, how this money that I'm committing each and every month, if I was to commit this money to an investment that is bringing some return, and then after some time, then I can be able to acquire my car comfortably without getting myself into loans, I think that would have been a better option for me compared to the otherwise. So when you try now, when you engage in a conversation in that kind of a manner, that helps you to make the appropriate and rightful decision as far as the cash are concerned. So if it's possible, avoid getting yourself into debt. Number 4, or rather number 5, go ahead and check out your friends check out your friends and actually confirm their character as far as the consumption is concerned. You know what? If I tell you something that you might be shocked, what happens is that some of the friends that we have surrounds us, they're the people who facilitate us consuming our money or misusing our money, if I may use the term. Why? Maybe say you hang around with people who are telling you life is short, you only live once, party after party, and those kind of a language. People who are like switched off, or they are on a free gear as far as their life is concerned. They don't tell you the importance of committing, sacrifice, discipline, and what have you. And that's why people say, you know what? Birds of a feather flock together. Just show me exactly whom you hang around. Then I'll tell you exactly which kind of a person you are. So it is always good to make sure that you ask yourself, okay, I have friend X. So what's the character of friend X as far as the money is concerned? It is kind of a guy, the moment they get the money, they give me a call and be like, hey, where are you? I mean, we should be somewhere. We should be, the kind of a thing that they're giving, in Kenya, we call them, they give you the form, the thing, the gig, like, hey, today we should do this or the other. So you ask yourself, the kind of the gigs that I'm getting from friends, is it about investment? And by the way, are they even informed about investment? You know how it feels when you hang around with people who knows things about rates, about the index fund, things to do with the T-bills, the Timbos, and the what have you. These are guys who can be like, hey, guess what? I want to invest on this. How does it go? That way you hang around with people who are of character, who are of content that can help you in the terms of investment. And that is how you propagate yourself to one level to the next level. Never forget this as long as you live. Show me your friends, and I'm going to show you exactly who you are. Let's go to the last point. The last point is that don't compromise on your goals. There are people who be like, guess what? Hey, this goal is like a bit tough. I don't know the tides on me, the walk in the park. I thought it would be like a walk in the park. It's tougher than I thought. It's always good to remain consistency, discipline, and make sure that at least you remain focused. That will propagate you to achieving that goal. Well, may not be comfortably, but for sure, you're going to develop the skin from the day one that you decide to monitor all the 6 things that I'm sharing with you until the time now you clock the 3rd month. And guess what? Just like I promised, I ain't gonna make this video a long one. That is the end of this video, but don't forget, those are the 6 things. If you incorporate them for the next 3 months, we call them the life trick as far as the money is concerned. You're gonna transform your life or the financial life tremendously. And by the way, I dare promise you, if this won't change your life as far as the finance is concerned, come here after 3 months, God willing, and say, or tell me, Joseph, you lied. These are the things that we exactly do and can change your life. For now, it's a goodbye. And if you'd like to have a conversation with me, my number is all in the description of this specific video. Leave me a comment out there. Take that number, shoot me a call. We can talk business. For now, it's a goodbye. See you in the next one.